We talked a lot about what we're doing with our overall crowdfunding campaign and what the Career Town show is kind of about, explaining what the company is. But I want to introduce you to the guy who's going to make it happen, our funds manager, our crowdfunding guru, and this is Marvin Abrinca, and he is the CEO of WonderFund. Marvin,
hey,
welcome to Career Town.
Well, thanks, Orville. I appreciate the offer of being here, and I'm looking forward to chatting about crowdfunding.
Well, tell me more about your platform, because that's kind of what we're working with, and this is a new thing. And this gets back to what the Jobs Act actually is and what's going on with how you can raise funds for businesses. And this is a really important thing for small businesses like ours. It's a great opportunity. Tell us more about how it works.
Yeah, absolutely. So crowdfunding did start back in 2012 as part of the Jobs Act, but over the last 3 years, it's really risen into prominence. Right. And the whole idea behind crowdfunding is that a lot of people can now participate in a fundraise for a private entity or for a fund, if you will, putting smaller dollar amounts, but having a larger volume of people, that now to the point where everyday people can invest, and not just the wealthiest of our society.
Wow, and that's the great thing about the whole crowdfunding process. The regular individual can invest in a small business. And, that's amazing, because before to go public, in a sense, you're kind of going public,
yes.
Right? You had to be on NASDAQ or some major exchange, you had to be X amount of, 30 million, 50 million, whatever in actual revenue. And, that's few, if any, ever get there,
Yeah.
I mean, and people do get there, but it's a long hurdle. This is a great opportunity, though.
And that's exactly the point here, Orville. It's access to capital at the end of the day.
Right.
Access to capital has traditionally been reserved for the public markets. And then if you're a private company, you had to solicit only amongst accredited investors.
Right.
Now, here's the secret to raising capital. It's who you know.
Who you know.
It's
right.
at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
And, for those of us who are people of color, those of us who historically don't have the networks like that, access to capital can be a big challenge, because your rich uncle, I don't know about you, but I don't have many rich uncles. Okay?
I don't have many. There's some of them out there, but they're not giving me that kind of money.
That's right. That's right.
So, yeah.
And so that's where crowdfunding comes into play, is that you're now opening up the market so that everyday people can join in.
Right.
They can be your friends. They can be your family members. It can be your next door neighbor, as well as those accredited investors. We're not excluding the people at all.
Right.
All we're doing is we're opening up the net so that 95% of the population can now participate in a private fundraiser.
You said a really important thing for Champions of Diversity's Career Town, our whole thing is all about really leveling the playing field. This does that. This actually has that impact to other businesses, so us small and minority businesses can actually get access to growth capital, and that's one of the hardest things to actually get. It's very hard to get capital to put your vision in play.
Yeah, it is.
So tell me about how the mechanism works. How does your platform work?
Yeah, so the platform, WonderFund, is a regulated crowdfunding platform. And so underneath those regulations that the SEC provided in the Jobs Act, we then find those type of deals like Champions of Diversity, and then we wind up the deal in what's considered like an underwriting process.
Right.
And in the underwriting process, we qualify the deal, and then we put the private placement into a public offering page. And when I say public offering page, I'm talking about putting it online.
Right.
So that all the proper disclosures are in place, the financials, that there's clarity on where the business has been and what is projected for the future. And in doing that, then you advertise against those deals, okay, which is something that's new, that you can do that type of broad solicitation. And I'm talking about things on Facebook or on LinkedIn or on TV or print, which are typically only reserved for public companies.
Absolutely.
Okay? And then when you're soliciting those deals, that's when people come out of the woodwork.
Right.
Because now people have an affinity for that type of business. It can be a special group. It could be things like diversity. It could be LGBTQ. It could be a small business like a brewery or a restaurant that you've got a lot of local people who want to come and partake in that type of business as a patron. And you're starting to activate those type of followers so that they convert from followers into investors in the company.
You know, I know one thing that a lot of people like, and even the accredited investor likes about this, is that you actually have the companies seem more investor ready when they're on your platform, because you've done the due diligence. You've done all the things necessary for the company to be a really a decent and a less riskier investment. More times than not, smaller businesses, yeah, it's a great ideal, but, do they really have their financial statements? Are they set up? But you have to have certain things done to be in this, even on your platform.
Yes.
Even though it's a smaller investment structure, it's not NASDAQ or S&P or whatever. You still have to have certain levels of credentials and qualifications to be on your platform too, as well.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And so in general, there is a vetting process that every company has to go through. We only allow less than 5% of the companies who apply to be on WonderFund to actually raise an offering on WonderFund. And there's something important about that. I think one is first off, it takes the level of risk down a notch for private investors, because now you have a qualified company. We have to check to see if there's any bad actors. Knock on wood, hopefully those things come out when you do these background checks, which usually you'll do. So we knock some of those people out of the offering in the first place. But then qualifications on the business include the very basics and fundamentals. So are they revenue generating? Have they built a product? Is this the type of founder who has a track record and a team who have subject matter expertise? These are some of the things that we look at amongst all the other things for WonderFund, because for us at the end of the day, we need to make sure that the companies who come on board are companies that can A, raise capital,
right, but
then B, they will have the fiduciary responsibility to make sure that they're shepherding that capital in a way that's going to grow their business.
Absolutely.
So that's really important. But at the end of the day, the only disclaimer I'll say is that every private business is still risky.
Right. That's correct.
But hopefully, if we've done our job right, then we're starting to sort out some of them so that we can at least give them a fighter's chance of raising money.
Well, this is a great opportunity, Marvin. I mean, what a fantastic concept and the whole vehicle for it, and we're excited to work with WonderFund and your team. So we're available. Buy shares in Champions University's Careertown. This is a great opportunity. It'll be on the WonderFund platform at wonderfund.co, as well as championsuniversity.net. And let's make it happen. And other companies need to check out WonderFund. Again, wonderfund.co, to be able to at least go for it. And if you think you have a viable business that can raise capital, check Marvin's team out. Go to wonderfund.co. Hey, this is Orville Lynch with Marvin Abrinca on the Careertown Show. Stay tuned.